Let me say it to you the way it really is. The difference between where you are and where you want to be is not talent, it's not luck. It's not even opportunity, it's structure. It's routine. The most successful men and women on this planet didn't just wake up winning. They built systems so tight that chaos couldn't sneak in. They didn't leave space for distraction to breathe. Every minute had an assignment. Every hour had a purpose. And because their time was accounted for, their lives stayed focused. See, when you don't control your schedule, something else will. When your day has gaps, those gaps don't stay empty. They get filled with excuses, bad habits, procrastination, and decisions you regret later. That's why discipline isn't about being strong once in a while. Discipline is about being consistent every single day, especially when nobody's watching, especially when you're tired, especially when it would be easier to quit. Your body already knows this. Your mind will lie to you, but your body tells the truth. If you wake up early without an alarm, you're not tired, you're avoiding effort. If you can scroll for 30 minutes but can't focus for 10, you're not busy, you're distracted. Most people don't fail because life is hard. They fail because they never built a routine strong enough to carry them when motivation runs out. And let me make this plain. Success doesn't come from doing extraordinary things once. It comes from doing ordinary things every day without negotiation. Put the shoes on, show up, start moving. Momentum will take over if you let it. Habits will do the heavy lifting if you stop fighting them. The moment you stop wasting time, everything changes. The moment you stop living off all you make, everything shifts. The moment you stop thinking like survival and start thinking like strategy, you step into a new level. You don't need a miracle, you need a routine. You don't need more time, you need more discipline. And when your routine gets serious, your results have no choice but to follow. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Success is boring. Yeah, I said it. It's not flashy, it's not random, it's not emotional, it's routine. The people you admire, the ones you call lucky, the ones you say are gifted, they are obsessed with what they do every single day. Same wake-up time, same work blocks, same priorities, same discipline. They don't wait to feel like it. They don't negotiate with their feelings. They move because it's scheduled. See, wasted time is the silent killer of dreams. Nobody plans to fail, but people plan nothing, and that's the problem. When your day has no structure, distractions get a vote. When your schedule has gaps, excuses move in. That's why routine is not about being strict. It's about being protected. Protected from laziness. Protected from temptation. Protected from the version of you that wants comfort instead of growth. Most people say they're tired, but they're not tired. They're undisciplined. They say they don't have time, but they watched 3 episodes, scrolled for 40 minutes, and checked messages they didn't even need to answer. The successful ones don't have more hours. They have fewer leaks. Every hour has a job. Every block of time has a purpose. When you know what you're supposed to be doing, confusion disappears. Routine trains your body before it convinces your mind. You don't rise to motivation, you fall to your habits. When you wake up at the same time every day, your body already knows what's coming. When you work at the same time every day, your focus shows up automatically. When you repeat excellence long enough, discipline becomes automatic. That's when success stops feeling heavy and starts feeling normal. People ask, how do you stay out of trouble? How do you stay focused? How do you stay consistent? Simple. There's no room for nonsense. When your life is full of purpose, distractions can't find parking. When your routine is locked in, temptation gets tired waiting. You don't win by fighting weakness. You win by starving it of opportunity. Routine is how you respect your future. It's how you tell your goals, I take you seriously. It's how you prove to yourself that you're not just talking. Anybody can get motivated once. Anybody can start strong. But only disciplined people finish. Only structured people last. Only obsessed people separate themselves from the crowd. If you want different results, stop looking for a new feeling and start building a new schedule. Don't ask how you feel, ask what's next on the list. Don't wait for inspiration. Follow the routine. Don't try to be perfect. Be consistent. When routine takes over, excuses lose power, distractions lose influence, and progress becomes inevitable. Let me tell you the truth about motivation. Motivation will hype you up and then disappear on you without notice. One day you feel unstoppable. The next day you don't even feel like getting out of bed. That's why discipline matters more than feelings. Discipline is what shows up when motivation calls in sick. Discipline is what carries you when your emotions are weak, when life hits hard, when nobody is clapping for you. See, most people live their life based on how they feel. If they feel good, they work. If they feel tired, they quit. If they feel inspired, they push. If they feel stressed, they stop. That's a dangerous way to live because feelings are unstable. Feelings change with weather, with people, with sleep, with problems. Discipline doesn't care about none of that. Discipline says we're doing this whether you feel like it or not. That's why discipline is protection. It protects you from yourself. It protects you from excuses that sound reasonable. It protects you from comfort that feels good now but costs you later. When discipline is in place, you don't debate your responsibilities. You don't argue with the plan. You just execute. Your body already understands discipline better than your mind. That's why habits are powerful. Once something becomes routine, your body will move even when your brain complains. You say you're tired, but your discipline says get up. You say you don't feel ready, but your discipline says start anyway. And once you start, momentum kicks in. The reason people keep falling back is not because life is too hard. It's because they rely on motivation instead of structure. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is mechanical. Motivation needs inspiration. Discipline needs a decision. Once you decide, you don't keep revisiting it. You lock it in and move on. Discipline also teaches your mind who's in charge. Every time you do what you said you would do, you build trust with yourself. Every time you quit, you teach your mind that your word doesn't matter. Over time, that becomes your identity. Disciplined people don't have more confidence because they talk better. They have confidence because they keep promises to themselves. And here's the part people don't like. Discipline feels uncomfortable in the beginning. It feels restrictive. It feels lonely. But comfort is expensive. Comfort costs dreams. Comfort costs growth. Comfort costs potential. Discipline might hurt now, but regret hurts longer. You don't need discipline just on good days. You need it on bad days. You need it when you're tired, frustrated, doubting yourself, and questioning everything. That's when discipline separates the serious from the casual. Anybody can be disciplined when life is easy. Champions are disciplined when life is heavy. If you want to win at a higher level, stop asking how you feel and start honoring your commitments. Feelings will follow behavior, not the other way around. When discipline becomes your foundation, motivation becomes a bonus, not a requirement. Let me tell you something about focus. Focus isn't about doing more. Focus is about doing the right things. You see, most people are busy being busy, running around, checking boxes, thinking they're grinding when in reality, they're just wasting energy. Energy without direction is chaos. Chaos will not create results. Chaos will not create success. Focus creates results because focus aligns your energy with your purpose. You've got to understand, the world doesn't care how much you do. The world only cares what you accomplish. And you cannot accomplish if you are scattered. You cannot accomplish if your mind, your time, and your resources are all over the place. The most successful people in the world, they don't try to do everything. They pick a target, they lock in, and they refuse to get distracted. They understand that if you chase two rabbits, you catch none. Distractions are everywhere. Social media, gossip, unnecessary arguments, entertainment that numbs your brain, people that drain your energy. These things are like chains trying to hold you back. You cannot allow your attention to be a ping-pong ball, bouncing from one thing to another. Focus is saying no to the things that are easy, the things that feel good, the things that make life comfortable, because the things that are easy rarely lead to greatness. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Focus is lonely. It requires sacrifice. It requires you to say no to friends, no to parties, No to habits that give temporary pleasure but permanent setbacks. You can't be half-focused and expect full results. You can't be partially committed and expect to win. Focus is discipline applied to action. Focus is love applied to your dreams. The mind is like a muscle, and if you keep letting it wander, you weaken it. But when you train your mind to focus, you build mental toughness. You build clarity. You build the ability to ignore the noise and zero in on what matters most. That's why the most productive people don't multitask, they concentrate. They give their full attention to one thing at a time until it's done, until it's mastered, until it produces. Focus is also about priorities. You've got to decide what is urgent versus what is important. Most people spend their days on urgent things that don't move the needle while ignoring the important things that actually build their future. You cannot grow if you are reactive. You must be proactive. You must plan, execute, and guard your focus like it's the most precious asset you have, because it is. And finally, focus demands persistence. You will be tempted to quit. You will be tempted to check out. You will be tempted to switch tracks when results don't show immediately. But focus means you stay the course. You do the work even when nobody sees it. You trust the process even when it's uncomfortable. Focus is not a sprint. It's a lifestyle. When you master your focus, you master your life. Let me break this down for you. Discipline is not something you talk about. Discipline is something you live. You see, most people want the results without the grind. They want the trophies without the sweat. They want the crown without the battle. That doesn't happen. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Discipline is what separates the winners from the wannabes, the successful from the spectators. You've got to understand, discipline isn't convenient. It isn't when you feel like it. It's not when it's easy or when it's comfortable. Discipline is getting up when your body is telling you to stay down. Discipline is doing the work when nobody is watching. Discipline is choosing long-term victory over short-term pleasure. Most people fail because they want the instant gratification. They want to scroll, they want to relax, they want to quit. Discipline says, not today. I'm going forward, I'm grinding, I'm committed. And here's what most people don't realize. Discipline is not a punishment. Discipline is freedom. When you are disciplined, you control your life. You are not controlled by impulses, by emotions, by laziness, by the world. You decide your path. You decide your schedule. You decide your destiny. The undisciplined life is a life of chaos, stress, and regret. The disciplined life is a life of clarity, purpose, and power. Let me tell you something else. Discipline compounds. You do it consistently, day after day, and what seems small at first becomes monumental. 5 extra minutes of effort, an extra hour of study, an early morning run, saying no to distractions, saying yes to priorities. These things stack. And after months, years, they make the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Discipline is not glamorous, but the results are undeniable. Now, discipline is not just physical, it's mental too. It's how you think, how you speak to yourself, how you handle setbacks. It's waking up every morning and telling yourself, I'm not quitting, I'm not distracted, I'm not settling. Discipline is consistency in thought, word, and action. You can't allow your mind to wander, your emotions to control you, your fears to dictate your next step. Discipline keeps you on track when everything around you wants to derail you. And here's the kicker: discipline is lonely. People don't like it because it requires sacrifice. You're going to have to say no to comfort. You're going to have to push past pain. You're going to have to do things that hurt now to feel the reward later. But when you embrace discipline, you become unstoppable. You create momentum. You create habits that make success inevitable. So if you really want to level up, if you really want to be a person who others look at and say, how did they do it? The answer is discipline. It's waking up early, showing up every day, grinding when it's hard, and never giving in to excuses. Discipline is the foundation of everything. Without it, talent is wasted, opportunity is missed, and potential dies. But with discipline, greatness is inevitable. Let me tell you something. Success is not about luck. It's about environment. The people you surround yourself with, The places you go, the energy you allow into your life, it all matters. You want to be a 1% type of person? You can't hang around 99% people and expect to rise above. You see, most of you are trying to grow while staying comfortable in the same room, with the same folks, with the same conversations, and it won't happen. You've got to elevate yourself, and elevation doesn't come from stagnation. Now, listen to me carefully. If you want to be great, you've got to be around greatness. You've got to be around people who push you, challenge you, who don't let you settle, who see the potential in you that you haven't even seen yet. You can't just hang out with folks who are okay with mediocrity and expect to do extraordinary things. You get energy from association. Your network determines your net worth. And that's not just about money, that's about mindset. That's about habits, that's about discipline, that's about vision. And here's the thing most people don't get. They underestimate how powerful influence is. One conversation, one interaction, one mentor can change the trajectory of your life. But you've got to be intentional. You can't just randomly pick friends or associates and hope it works out. You have to be deliberate in who you allow close to your circle, because the wrong people will slow you down. They'll doubt you, they'll distract you, they'll sabotage your growth without even realizing it. And the right people? They'll elevate you, motivate you, they'll hold you accountable, they'll push you past limits you thought were impossible. Let me be real with you, this is not about being arrogant, it's about being strategic. You don't leave your growth to chance. You don't leave your success up to whoever happens to be in the room. You create an environment that reflects the person you want to become. You study the habits of winners, you listen to the mentors. You read the books, you attend the seminars, you go where the energy is high, and you let that energy seep into your life. And over time, what was foreign becomes normal. What was hard becomes easy. What was impossible becomes your standard. And don't forget, your environment isn't just about people, it's about your physical space too. What do you wake up to every morning? What do you see when you open your eyes? Your surroundings influence your mind, your focus, and your motivation. If your space is cluttered, your mind gets cluttered. If your space is negative, your spirit gets weighed down. You've got to design an environment that supports your goals, your dreams, your vision. You can't take a Ferrari engine and put it in a broken car frame and expect to go fast. Your environment has to match your ambition. So I need you to ask yourself, who and what are you letting influence you? Are you being intentional or accidental? Are you absorbing energy that lifts you or energy that drags you down? Greatness doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you surround yourself with the right people, in the right spaces, consuming the right information, and refusing to let distractions steal your destiny. You control your circle, you control your space, you control your life. Elevate your environment, elevate yourself, and watch everything else in your life rise with you.